so the story here revolves around two police officers, one named Brian, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and the other one named Mike, played by Michael Pena. Not a big stretch there. And they are just like the best of buds. They're like thick as thieves. They make fun of each other. They talk about their lives together. They make fun of other people. They're just having a good time while they're on the force. And, you know, they have to bust people sometimes. It gets a little violent here and there for most of the movie, but it never gets really, like, bad. Like, it doesn't go south until later on in the movie when they investigate something that happened. And I don't want to spoil it, I'm just going to say that. Something that happened earlier in the film, they investigate a little thoroughly, and they find out something really bad is going on, and the cartel wants them dead. And I'm not going to spoil what it is. The trailer for the movie said the cartel wants them dead, but I'm not going to spoil what it is. And yeah, it goes pretty south. I mean, there's things that happen that is not very good. And yeah, for most of the movie, it's just them palling around and having a good time, making fun of other people and just cracking jokes about each other. But there's times where it definitely goes to like bang, 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 just shoot them up and stuff. And it really does balance that very well. Also, one thing that is in the movie is they try to mix found footage with like regular footage, you know, regular film, and it actually works here for me. You know, the beginning of the film, you realize that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is actually trying to make a movie because he's in college, and he's actually like trying to make a movie about police work and stuff, and it actually really does work because he's actually trying to film all this stuff, and it also switches back to like real film where, of course, obviously some of these things that he's doing cannot, you know, be him actually recording it, and it actually works very well for the film. Really works for the film. I have to say this. Michael Pena and freaking Jake Gyllenhaal together, I never thought I would say this, but they are like the perfect buddy, like, cop pair. I mean, they are perfect in this. They are so much fun to watch. All the dialogue written for them, all the jokes they have, all the stuff they say is so perfectly written. It's so much fun. They feel like real people, and you really do care for these people, even if you don't like cops, which I know plenty of people that really do not like cops. But if you go in this film, you're gonna like these cops because they are just so much. They have so much chemistry together. They are so charismatic. They are living people, and they are just likable as all hell. They are great in this film, both of them, all just together. Even when they're separate and they're doing their own thing with other people, they're fantastic. But when they're together, they're amazing. The rest of the supporting cast does a great job as well. You have Frank Grillo, who plays the Sarge of the police force, and he does a great job in this, but he's not in it as much as I would like, because I actually love Frank Grillo. I thought he was great in The Grey, and I thought he was amazing in Warrior, and I love that actor, I really do, and I want to see him in more stuff. And he's great in this, don't get me wrong, he's just not in it as much. You have America Ferrara, Ugly Betty. She's in the movie. She plays a police officer. She's pretty much in the background most of the time, and she's okay, I guess. Anna Kendrick, who plays the girl that Jake Gyllenhaal meets up with later on, and you know, starts dating, and even goes a little further than that. And she's great in this, only because she's so cute. I love Anna Kendrick. I mean, Pitch Perfect, that movie that's coming out in a couple weeks, looks like crap, but I might even see it just because she's in it, and she's actually the star of it, because I love Anna Kendrick. She's so cute, I love her, and she's great in this. You have some other supporting actors who play some of the gang members and stuff, and they do an okay job, but I feel that they're a little bit too, this is one of my problems with the film, they're a little too stereotypical. Like, the black people say the N-word, like, constantly. I'm gonna say it, the Mexicans say the F word every 2 seconds, especially the main bad guy in the film. He says fucking like every 2 seconds in this film. I think he says that F word more than he says any other word combined. I think he says that way too much in this film. And you know what? I think the stereotypes are a little bit too much in the film, and that's my only real problem with it, okay? Acting-wise. But for the most part, the acting is still fantastic in this film. The stereotypes are a little bit too much in the film, and I don't really like how they're presented. I have to admit, that's like my only problem, and that's not even a nitpick, that is an actual concern, that's like a problem, because I was kind of offended, and I was a little annoyed whenever they came on. But besides that, that's my only problem. It really is. Everything else is so phenomenal in this film. The camera work, in my opinion, actually gets you immersed whenever it goes into the found footage part. Even when it's just, you know, them talking. You feel like you're there just listening and having fun. And, I mean, you're not making any jokes, too. I mean, you can, but they won't listen. Just like every one of my friends. But you know, it gets you immersed in that and the action. It really does. I love the camera work in this. Like I said, the performances, besides the stereotypes, I mean, they did an okay job. They didn't like ham it up or anything, but they did what they were supposed to do. But you know, of course, Michael Pena and Jake Gyllenhaal together, I'm just so happy that Michael Pena got a starring role where he's actually like very memorable, because I love that guy. He's in so many movies where I'm like, you know what, I want this role that he's in to be bigger. And I never get that from Michael Pena, and finally I do, and he's so good in this. Jake Gyllenhaal's great as well, like I said, and I just love the buddy relationship. The movie's funny as all hell, and it gets pretty emotional at times too, here and there, and you just really care for these characters. And throughout the whole film, I'm like, you know what, when it got to the action, I'm like, oh, I don't want this action to happen, even though it's very well filmed. I don't want it to happen because I know like out of nowhere a bullet can hit one of the characters and that'll be it. And I was like, oh man, don't happen, because you two have so much to live for, and I don't want that to happen. And that's it, to me, is the sign of amazing characters. You do not want them to even get a little hit with a bullet. You don't want them to get hit at all. And they are just so likable in this film. It's just such a well-written and well-directed movie. I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to give it a 38 out of 40, and I'm only going to give it 38 and not a complete 40 out of 40 because of the stereotypes, because they did annoy me. If they cut it out a little bit, you know, a little bit more, you know, they cut more scenes out of those stereotypes, or gave them, you know, dialogue that didn't, you know, just have the F word every 2 seconds, then I would give this a 40 out of 40. But because it did have that, I'm giving it a 38. But still, amazing movie. Go check this out, and go check Dredd out too, because Dredd is not doing good at the box office. Go see that movie. Do a double feature. This and Dredd. They both have a lot of violence in them too. So anyway, there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.